Golden Rule Radio is brought to you by McIlvaney ICA. ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've also helped thousands of investors with their precious metals IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download your free report online by clicking the link in the video description to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within your IRA.
Welcome back to Golden Rule Radio, your weekly recap of the precious metals markets and the news that moves the markets. And it's Wednesday, the 16th today, and no news and no market moves whatsoever. I'm sure all of you agree, paying attention to the markets today, that absolutely nothing of merit happened. Technically, nothing did happen because the interest rates didn't change. But the Fed did definitely come out and say that they expect interest rates to go up in the very near future, as early as 2.5 years from now. And holy smokes, just the whiff of that possibility caused all the markets to go down except for the US dollar. So I fully expect by the time this show goes on the air tomorrow on Thursday, that'll all be just back to normal. But it is fascinating to me how you get these immediate reaction to these events that ultimately don't have any substantial impact on the current day-to-day, but you do see these market gyrations as they follow. So the US dollar took a nice jump up today. The equities markets are down. Most of your commodities are down as well. Now, on the flip side of that, they are expecting to increase their inflation expectations for 2021, which would be now, not 2 years from now. They have adjusted that number up. So to me, that tells me the average investor is far more interested in what interest rates are going to do up or down than they actually care about the inflation rate. Now, I would think any automobile owner in the state of California is very interested in what the inflation rate is doing. And certainly we are here in Colorado starting to see that as well as we're into our summer tourist season. And while we're not paying $5 a gallon, it's getting there. So I think on a day-to-day basis, sure, inflation definitely affects us far more than the interest rate investor does, especially because they've got to wait about 2 years to see those rates go up. And that's assuming it happens to begin with. So there's my opening monologue for you all to take a look at. Good articles out there today. CNBC, I was reading earlier today, had a great article kind of laying out what their interest rate expectations has been and how that's changed here recently and why. So go do a little bit more reading on the Fed announcement today on Wednesday, and that'll give you an answer to some of these questions of how does this affect the market in the short term and the long term. So on the heels of the Fed announcement, taking a look at the gold chart, gold did drop about $30 today. Now that may feel like a lot in a single day. All you got to really do is back the charts out and realize, again, just another stair step up or down. Even in the short term, looking at the bottom we put in March, that only brings us down to the very first 382 fib correction level. And we're still sitting right smack dab in the middle of the top end trading range that we've kind of put in over the last 6 months, where we peaked out around 2100. So ultimately, gold really hasn't done anything but make a slight emotional reaction today, just like you'll see over here on the silver charts, also taking a small drop today, but sitting in the middle of its trading range, just under $28 an ounce. Even the Dow Jones took a nice drop today on the Fed announcement, but still showing signs of continuing to climb on the apparently far less interesting but far more important inflation numbers, which are going to continue prior to the 2023 date. So I would expect to see commodities continue to climb along with everything else. Along with the equities markets, and I do not expect to see interest rates climb anytime in the near future. It does make me a little nervous that they have gone ahead and adjusted inflation numbers up. Personally, I believe they've been suppressing that number for a very long time, and the fact that they're willing to raise their expectations by as much as 40 or 50% from around 2.5% to 3.5% inflation rate, I think that's very telling, because that's a pretty substantial increase percentage-wise. So to see the US dollar bounce on interest rate expectations, but not have any kind of reversal when they got to the inflation rate expectations, was very telling to me about where the general consensus of the market is going forward. So to close out this week, I would encourage you to continue to look at the precious metals markets because, again, my favorite catchphrase that Robert's not here to make fun of me of today is opportunity, and I'm looking for the opportunity in metals. Long term, gold has done nothing on the downside, and we've been talking about that for the last 2 months when we did hit that big support level down around 1678. In the short term, we've had a very, very slight reversal down, aided thanks to Jerome Powell and the Fed announcement today, bringing gold down about $30 into the low 1800s. Now, like I pointed out a second ago, you're still only talking the shortest possible reversal level at the 382 fib. Should we get lucky and see gold come back down one last time, make sure you're taking advantage of those opportunities as they present themselves. We had opportunities at 1200, at 1500. Now we're having opportunities at 18 and 1900. We'll have them again at 2500 and maybe 3500 as the inflation rate continues to climb. Now I want to leave you with one final thing to consider. What kind of world do we live in? And what is the economic outlook when you have inflation increasing and you have interest rates increasing on top of that? What does that world look like when both of those things are happening? So that's going to do it this week for Golden Rule Radio. As always, we appreciate you stopping by. If you liked what you heard, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, head on over to our website at McIlvaney.com. You can find us on Twitter at ICA Gold or Facebook at McIlvaney Financial. And as always, if you'd like to speak with myself, Robert, Tori, or any of the advisors here at McIlvaney ICA, we can be reached at 1-800-525-9556. Thanks for listening. Have a great week.